Hello everybody, back here again for another Idiot's Guide to Working Out and Weight Loss. And today's little tip I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about is I'm going to go ahead and try and install these Yankz shoelace design here. They're actually a reflective shoelace, which would be nice. I'm out running late at night as it starts getting into the summertime, although it's like 37-degree low tonight, so I'm not sure I'm really quite feeling that yet, but it should get warm. I'm going to do a lot more evening running and late night running, just for the simple fact that I want to be able to get out there and run when it's not so hot, or I might even make it a point to try and get up super early in the morning and go out and do my running. I'm going to actually install these laces in my Ultras here, which I've not really come to love yet. I'm not really feeling the Ultra Zeros. They're the zero drop shoe. They haven't quite, I haven't quite really got myself into them. I'm less than 20 miles in the shoes so far, and it's 20 miles after my big half marathons when I've been starting to run them, so it was a little bit taxed on that. I had a couple injuries I'm nursing, so I'm not really sure I'm going to blend the shoes. But today I'm going to go ahead and install these Yankz. Once I get them installed, I'll go ahead and I'll show you the end results of how they work. But the thing about them is the fact that if any of you have ever been on a long run and your shoe comes untied, or heading to a race and you're halfway through a race and you had to stop and tie your shoe, which I had to do on my first 5K. I'd actually stopped tying my shoe twice, which was super annoying. Ended up turning in a 26:33, which I thought was still pretty damn good considering the fact that I stopped twice and tied my shoe. So definitely not the fun thing to do. And even though they're double knotting shoelaces quite a bit, people tend to, I had one just Saturday, yesterday, that I went to for a charity Susan B. Komen Cancer 5K, and my shoes were double knotted. They did not come untied, but the double knot did come undone. So luckily the secondary knot held up, but if I was only a 5K, if that was a full half or a full marathon, would have been a problem. So these are designed, you lace them up in your shoe, and you basically, the bungee cord becomes your tensioner. And it's got a little lock here, so you can make it a little bit tighter, a little bit looser, that kind of thing. I'll get them installed, and then I'll get back to you with what they look like. And as you can clearly see here, I have my shoe laced up, and one of the things I forgot to mention you might want to do when you lace this up, you want to lay the little slider facing to the upward sky when you first lace it in, because what's going to happen, you're going to actually hook that down and you're going to have a little bit more attractive look on your shoe when you're done. Not really a big deal, but something to do. I went ahead, and you want to leave it where it's loose on your, not tight on your foot where you're like cutting off circulation, but not loose either. Fairly snug little fit here. You want to get your foot in. The one thing that they don't mention at all, that I haven't heard anybody talk about, that I'm a really big fan of, is I want to make sure I'm wearing the same socks I'm going to be running in. You don't want to be wearing your big winter woolly socks if these are most likely going to be your summer shoe. You also don't want to do this barefoot if you're in the middle of January and you're going to be running in these shoes and you're going to put on a great big woolly sock. So definitely, I've got my toe socks on, which I tend to run in, even in my regular shoes. They tend to help my toes quite a bit. What it's wanting me to do next is go ahead, if I can get this camera to set up here. Not sure it's really going to matter here too much, and it's not going to really want to let me film this. Well, let's see here. Maybe it will. What it's trying to do is it wants me to put this little triangle piece it gives me, and you want to slide the bottom of the shoelaces up in through it from both sides with your shoe on your foot again. Don't take your foot out, because you want to make sure you have this. Then what you want to do, you want to see and kind of feel where's your tight spots, where's your loose spots. Work your shoe around kind of where you want it. My top seems to be a little bit tight, which is fine. It'll work out a little bit. My bottom seems to be a little bit loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull here on this one, give that one a little tug, work my way down so I get a little extra bungee string down here. And then I'm going to pull both these up a little bit, pull that down, and then one at a time you just slide these knots over, and as you can see as I pull, it just hooks in. Maybe you can see if I pull my finger the way here, and it locks into place. Maybe there we go, and that locks that shoelace into place. So these aren't going anywhere. This is virtually done, but you can also bring down your top loop that is up there and hook it on in place. And by doing that, you can push your T-bar in, which is going to lock that in place. And now this is done. The one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to trim off my excess string here until I'm going to go for at least one run. A lot of people say you need to cut them off. You can also just tuck them up inside. Totally up to you, whatever you want to do there. I'm going to go ahead and just tuck them in right in this loop here. I'm going to tuck one in this loop right over here. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want to trip on them. I don't want to get caught up in them, whatever. Kind of leave them out of the way. and I'm going to go for a run with these shoes, and then once I run in them once, see if I need to tighten it up, if I loosen it up, that kind of thing. If you cut this off right here, which they recommend, which is fine, you have every right to do that, but if you ever need to loosen this up, you're kind of screwed. You can make it tighter, you cannot make it looser. So as it fits right now, my top still seems a little bit tight, but I think once I kind of work this down a little bit, once I get running, it's going to kind of even itself out, I hope, and we'll see what happens. So I'll go ahead and probably take a couple more runs. I'll probably post this up so you guys can see this video, and then after I get a couple runs in these, maybe, I don't know, another 10 miles, maybe 20 miles in these shoes, I'll come back and give you my feedback and see what my final results are on it. And as you can tell, I've got nice little, tightness here. I like a tighter shoe than some people. You have the right, if you don't want a tight shoe, loosen this up, leave all the slack in there you want. So anyway, that's all I have for now. And again, these are the reflective Yankz shoestrings. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.